Welcome everybody. Today I will be going over the very first part of my new series, How to Play Warpath. So, today's intro video will be exactly that. It'll be an intro video that goes over just what Warpath is and what you're going to need, and basically the first few pages of the PDF. If you haven't got the PDF for the beta rules, I strongly suggest that you go to Mantic Forum and go to the Warpath beta testing section. If you want to follow along, download your own copy again at manticforums.com. There's also some pretty great Facebook groups. The Warpath Universe Facebook group and the Warpath Fanatics Facebook group are also great resources, and they constantly post up all the newest rules. First and foremost, I want to make this video accessible to everybody so that they understand the beta rules well enough to go try and play on your own. So basically this is just a stepping stone. I still recommend that you read the rules because it'll be a lot better than I will be at explaining some of this stuff. But I want everybody to go out and playtest as much as they possibly can while changes can still be made. We want to make this the best possible game it can be, and just as one of the community members, I want to see this game turn into the next big thing. And that'll be done basically by you playing games, submitting your feedback, Mantic will listen, and then we'll have an awesome game. Right now, it's pretty great. I figure since the rule sets are close enough, I will cover both Firefight and Warpath in this. So, let's just dive into this right now. So for those of you watching my video, you probably know that I'm a huge fan of Mantic games and their sci-fi universe. It's called the Warpath Universe, and this was a game that was originally made in 2011, I believe, and it was made by Alessio Cavatore. Sorry if I butchered the name, but basically he's a pretty famous game designer, and he's also the creator of Kings of War. But the first iteration of this game was back then, and it worked out pretty well, but it mirrored other similar games like Warhammer 40k a little bit too familiarly. So basically there was a Kickstarter a couple months ago that funded the second version of Warpath, and so now that Dead Zone has been out, Dead Zone is the skirmish-sized game, so very few models played on a board like this where it's gridded out for you, so there's no measurement involved. Warpath is a little different. Warpath is the larger scale, and Firefight is the step in between. So basically the way to think about this, for people who might be more familiar with other game systems, such as GW, you have Dead Zone, which is your skirmish-sized game, so small squad of guys, very elite forces. Then you ramp that up to Warpath Firefight, which is basically the 40k playstyle equivalent, so each model is moved separately, and they still work within units of 5 or 10 or so. And finally you have Warpath, or Warpath proper as I'll probably call it, just to make the distinction between that and Firefight. And Warpath proper is a mass battle game, so units are on team-sized bases, so 5 miniatures per normal infantry, so they will move around as units, and that is basically what it is. Currently there are 5.5 factions if you include the Marauders. The Marauders are the half there. They can work with the GCPS, or they can work solo pretty much. I've done it both ways and it's pretty great. So 5.5 factions. You have the Forge Fathers, the Asterians, the Enforcers, the GCPS, and the Plague. And so basically these are all very powerful factions in the Warpath universe. They are all fighting for their dominance or whatever their goals are, but whether it's profit or domination, that's kind of up to you as a player and what you play. And it's a truly fantastic universe. For more history and things like that, more of the fluff, the backgrounds, pick up more Dead Zone books. They have tons of awesome things. Check it out on manticdigital.com. They have a lot of downloadable things if you don't have access to them, or you might have already read them if you don't want to pay for anything, which I do recommend you listen to some short stories and stuff to put yourself in the universe. But if you're looking for extra fluff, the Mantic blog usually has a lot of cool fluff pieces. And if you go back through the Kickstarter and look through the updates, you'll see tons of little excerpts about the stretch goals they want to achieve, and that will really get you a good idea of what's going to come in later. Like any good war game, you're going to need some dice. Warpath is played with D6s, not D8s. Dead Zone's D8s, but Warpath and Firefight are both D6s. However, when command dice are played in this game, you use a D8. So you'll need a few D8s for as many guys as you bring that have the command ability, which we'll get to in further rule sets, but basically you need some D8s to issue commands to your guys to make them do extra things. And unlike Dead Zone, you're going to need a measuring stick of some sort. Obviously, tape measure is the preferred method. You need to have everything in inches. Why English games use inches all the time, I don't know, but since I'm American, I absolutely love it. Both Warpath proper and Firefight are played on 6x4 feet, that is, tables. So the standard size gaming table, so much bigger than this table here, but you know, you've seen them, you love them, you might have played 40K, you might not have, but I'm sure you've seen a gaming table, and that's the size you're going to need. It's also highly recommended that you have some counters of some sort. The counters from Dead Zone work really well. Basically, you want to have those activation counters so you know who's been going. You want something to use for suppression, because suppression is very important in this game, and you need to keep track of what units have been taking a lot of fire, and so you need some suppression tokens. I personally use the old Dead Zone tokens, the little X-Men looking symbols, but really you could use anything, even if you just cut up some index cards and then just put down whatever. It doesn't matter, just as long as you have something so you know what's happening on the board. You're also going to need some terrain. Terrain's very important in this game because, like any good sci-fi universe, if you stand out into the open, you will get shot and you will die. This is very apparent in Warpath and in Firefight. Things definitely die in this game. There's not a lot of wasted opportunities when it comes to attacking. If you attack something, odds are it's gonna take some serious damage. But enough of my ramblings. Please join me for part 2, where we will start diving into the rules. I hope you're excited, like I am, and now that I've made this first part, I'm going to have to make the rest of them. So, like, comment, subscribe, and keep rolling 8s. I'll see you next time, guys.